Hi, I'm George Fleetwood, and this is my son Hank.
Hi.
We're world travelers, and today we'd like to share with you the final of the Baltic capitals that we visited, Tallinn, Estonia, which also happens to be my personal favorite.
Hope you enjoy.
We arrived by Lux Express bus from Riga, Latvia, and the kind folks at where our accommodations picked us up and brought us to our apartment, which we rented, which is in the Romeo family apartments. Jenny and I, my wife, Hank's mother, had rented a room in their B&B in a previous trip to Tallinn and had enjoyed it. And this time we decided to rent one of the apartments that they have. Same building, great location in the old town, less than a 5-minute walk from the town square, and we're now flipping through pictures of this really lovely little apartment we rented.
It was very nice.
We had plenty of space, and we had a full kitchen, and we were even in a position where we fixed meals a couple nights because Hank likes to eat in sometimes when we travel.
Yep.
And as you can see, there's a washer and dryer there, and we were able to do our laundry.
It makes it feel like home.
After we settled in for a few minutes, we decided to go ahead and venture out and let them see the heart, let Hank see the heart of downtown. So we walked to the old town square, and here we are arriving at the old town square, which was a little more robust than my two previous trips to Tallinn because they had both been in the wintertime. This was in early July, and there were a lot of tourists flocking around. Here's the old town hall. It's a beautiful old building right in the center of town. Tallinn has a beautiful medieval core. More of the buildings around the town square.
All very colorful.
And you can see the traffic, the pedestrian traffic, right there in the town square. A lot of bars, restaurants with outdoor cafes. A lot of people dining at all hours of the day on the town square.
Also a lot of narrow streets, such as this one.
Exactly. So here you can see one of the cobblestone streets that lead into the town square as we're leading away back toward our apartment. And this, in fact, I believe, Hank, is our apartment building, is it not?
Yes. And this is our room, as you can tell from the windows being open. It was a little bit stuffy in there.
But a really pleasant temperature.
Yes.
And here we decided to go for a walk to go to a grocery store to kind of stock up on some supplies, and this is the main intersection we got ready to cross. Typical buildings in the area. This is Solaris Shopping Center, and in there was a really nice grocery store, wasn't it, Hank?
Mm-hmm. It was a very nice mall shopping center in total.
And right across the street from it was the Opera House.
Here's another shot.
And here's Hank standing next to a statue which is right outside of our hotel, and it's called the Lucky Chimney Sweep. Very jovial looking little character.
He looks very happy.
And this is Sopris Cinema, which is right across the street. We're on this little plaza area where our hotel, or our accommodation, our apartment was.
This is the building.
Right. One of the narrow streets leading away from it. Another narrow street, cobblestones. This is a good city to get some nice sturdy shoes to walk in because there's a lot of walking availability, and the uneven stones lead you to need something sturdy on your feet.
Pretty shade of blue, turquoise building.
And here we're walking down toward the old city wall that still exists, and you can see there in the distance one of many towers. I think there's something in the neighborhood of 17 towers that still exist from the old fortifications. And here's two more of them, along with one of the original gates into the city, the old walled city. And here we are at an institution in Tallinn called the Wall of Sweater. Here these ladies sell sweaters. A lot of them are handmade, hand knitted. Some of them are machine made. I think we bought something for Jenny there, didn't we?
Yes.
But it's literally into the side of the wall, as you can see.
It's a must visit in Tallinn, the Wall of Sweaters.
I think so too. There's another one of the towers, along with a walkway up above there. Another shot back of the Wall of Sweaters. Just side street near the Wall of Sweaters. And we ventured on and we came to a small outdoor market. We like to visit markets, and this was a nice little market, as I recall, Hank.
Yes. We purchased a flag here, and it was a nice place to just walk around.
And here we're headed back into the town, in the old town. That market was just outside the old town. And we took a picture of a map that existed up on a wall that was an old map of the old town itself. I think that had been there for several years.
It appears so.
Back through the gates, we saw them from the other side, back into the old walled city. And we're headed back to the old town hall square. And lo and behold, we hadn't been there yet the second day, but in the absence of the evening and in that morning, they had set up a large marketplace and
Yes.
you can see the various huts set up and the vendors selling their wares. And these are just some interesting doors that are on I believe that's on the old town hall.
Very intricate designs.
And this was a restaurant we ran into. We have no idea what the name was, but it was quite good. And somebody's ducking out of the picture there.
Yes.
Right down, St. Patrick, that was the name of the place, I think. Possibly.
Not sure.
Quite good, just right down the street
Yes.
from our hotel. And we walked on further. We were headed up to the top of the hill. Part of the old town in Tallinn sits on top of a hill, and this is a church. I believe it's St. Nicholas Church. It's actually partly an art museum now. That was right down the street from our hotel, and on the way to the top of the hill in the old walled city. Another one of the city towers on our journey. Another of the old city towers and part of the wall.
Right there.
And here's St. Nicholas Church, I believe, from the street outside.
Many different colored buildings, just looking down. It's a nice shot.
Another one of the narrow streets leading up to the top of the hill. As you can see, people making the climb. They're lined with really delightful little shops selling local handicrafts and those kinds of things.
Jewelry.
A lot of jewelry. In fact, I think you and I ducked in and bought Mom something, didn't we?
Yep.
Here's some old city walls, and Hank's standing by some sort of statue. I don't know what that was to you.
No, not
You
sure.
think it's the Black Death, pretty much like what you saw in Riga?
Yeah,
I think it's
maybe.
possible.
Similar.
And this is building the old city walls. There's a really nice little bar and restaurant that Jenny and I had been to when we've been there previously, where they had, in the wintertime, they serve a really nice glass of hot mulled wine. More of the city walls and the towers that still exist. It's a lovely old city. And on top of the hill, you'll run into the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral, which is a really attractive Russian Orthodox church. Another shot of it. Don't think we were allowed to take any pictures there, but opposite it, I believe this is the Parliament building of Estonia. Another shot. Another shot of the Nevsky, which was getting some work done at the time, but really a nice building.
Very intricate designs once again.
And And in the distance there, I believe that's St. Mary's Cathedral, which I think was I'm not sure if it was Catholic or Lutheran.
Here's another shot as we get closer.
Just some typical pictures of buildings on top of the hill overlooking the city. Another tower shot with St. Mary's in the background. Another tower. As we're starting back down, you'll see some of the same shots that we had coming up the hill. There's that nice bar again, and one of the statues. And you can see the decline, and you can see it's a pretty precipitous decline or incline if you're coming up it.
Yeah. I prefer to be going down.
And that's Jenny and Hank in the background. And then that evening, we ran into a little restaurant that we read about. I think what was it called, Hank?
Grandma's house, something, grandma something.
Yeah, we don't remember it, and I couldn't begin to pronounce it in Estonian, I don't think, but it was a lovely place. And we sat in the back where Hank's pointing there, and it was just filled with antiques and all kinds of interesting things, and the food was just out of this world, I thought.
It really reminds you of
Grandma's kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what, if we go there, if we're lucky enough to go back to Tallinn, we'll beat feet to this restaurant, probably have a reservation there every night.
It was very nice and all these cool knickknacks. And it was right down here in the basement. Through that doorway, I believe.
I think so too. And this is going home after dinner in a lovely church that was very, very near, in a park area very near to our apartment. And this is the next day we got up and came back to the town hall, to Town Hall Square, to kill some time before we were leaving on a ferry later that day to go to Helsinki. And lo and behold, another fair had popped up. At this time, it was a medieval fair, and there were people selling all kinds of goods. I think in this case there might have been some foodstuffs like honey and mead and those kinds of things, but they also sold things like you can see there, hides and
furs.
Yeah, all kinds of knickknacks.
It's very
too.
Interesting to walk around.
Yeah, and they were getting ready to do all kinds of, they were having this fair, there were going to be contests of medieval times and those kinds of things that were going to occur. You can see people in garb of the era, and just a little park right off the old town square about a block away.
This appears to be what will be an archery contest.
Uh-huh. Another shot of it.
Became very busy.
And this was Knock Knock, a Thai restaurant that was almost across the street from our apartment that was absolutely fabulous, I thought. Didn't you, Hank?
Yes.
And this is the end of our trip to Tallinn, Estonia. A lovely place. Thanks again for joining us on our trip through Tallinn, Estonia. A lovely city, and we hope you get to go there one day yourself.
We'd like to take this time to advertise for his book, Put Another Pin in the Map. It's available on Amazon, Author House, and Barnes & Noble, so if you like what you saw, you should give it a try.
Thanks again, and safe travels.